46 years ago, the seeds of a football feud between Florida State and Florida were sown. But it was the controversial FSU no-catch in 1966 that blossomed the Noles and Gators into a full-blown rivalry. A rivalry which reached its zenith in the 1990s when national glory superseded even state bragging rights. Florida State, Florida. Bitter interstate rivals. Each at a crossroads, searching for the victory that will return them to national prominence and validate their respective seasons. Good afternoon. We welcome you to the Home Depot SEC on CBS. A full house, more than 90,000 gathered at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Gainesville, Florida, as the Seminoles come across state from Tallahassee to take on the Gators. Bitter rivals, the Seminoles from Tallahassee and the Gators from Florida. And here come the Gators. They come in having won 5 in a row and still with a chance to get to Atlanta for the SEC championship game. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Vern Lundquist along with Todd Blackledge and Jill Arrington. We welcome you to Gainesville. Florida State knows what is in their near future. They have won the ACC. They will be in the BCS bowl game for the 5th time in 6 years. A little murkier picture for Florida. It depends on what's going on elsewhere today. Georgia currently leads Georgia Tech. Looks like they will win. Tennessee has a 6-point lead over Kentucky. If you're a Gator fan, best thing that could happen is for Kentucky to defeat Tennessee if that happens. And here comes the late arriving crowd from Tallahassee, the Seminoles of Florida State. Let's talk about this game. Remember that irritating kid in the neighborhood from your youth? He was the guy that you didn't like how he dressed, you didn't like how he spoke, you didn't like his swagger or the way he combed his hair, and he felt the same way about you. Well, think Florida and Florida State. Todd Blackledge, what is at stake in this game?
Well, it's so important for both teams. I mean, Florida State, they want to prove that they are back among college football's elite, and a win today would be their first against a ranked opponent this year and give them their first 10-win season since 2000. Florida, they've had a great turnaround after starting 3-3. 5 games in a row they've won. A win today would put an exclamation point on that turnaround, and it would give Ron Zook his first win against either one of his in-state rivals and give him some momentum going into the recruiting battle.
Well, these are two very closely talented teams. What are keys?
I think the first key is the running game. Both teams want to run the football, and the one telling stat in the last 15 games between these two teams, whoever's run for the most yards has won 13 of them. The other key is going to be the quarterback play. Who will protect the ball? Who will make good decisions? Now, Chris Rix of Florida State has had kind of an up-and-down career, but in this game last year against these Gators, he single-handedly took over the football game. He threw 2 touchdown passes to Bowden, but it was his running ability that set the game apart. 83 yards rushing out of the pocket, kept a lot of drives alive. So his running ability, very important for this Gator defense to contend with. Now, Chris Leak, the true freshman for Florida, a guy who keeps getting better and better each week. His numbers are not all that impressive except the bottom one. 6-1 as a starter. He's improving every week. He played well against some good defenses early. He's got to play well against Florida State today.
Well, a cold front moved through here yesterday afternoon. It is chilly by Florida standards. I don't think the folks in Buffalo will have any sympathy for anybody down here. 52 degrees and a slight breeze out of the north. Final regular season game between these two teams. Matt Petrovich will kick off. He is the kickoff specialist this team. And if you've followed the Gators over the years, you know of Petrovich's inclination to get in and mix it up on kickoffs. He's a high school linebacker. And we have a full crew of ACC officials working this game. Here's Petrovich. We're underway.
They went right after Petrovich.
Taken by Cromartie at the 5. He's got some speed. There's a fumble. The ball might be ruled down by contact. Corey Bailey came up with it, but I think it will retain FSU. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, the Gators came off celebrating like they had the football, and they did come out of the pile with the ball. But he was ruled down before the ball came loose. Cromartie, the ball is out and his left knee is down. Now, was the knee down before the ball came out? That's the question. His left knee did hit the ground. Boy, that's so hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
Boy, that is snap, snap. In the National Football League, we'd now be spending 5 minutes looking at it.
All right.
Well, first down and 10. Chris Rix backs in the eye. Play fake. Rix comes out to his left. Pulls up, looks deep, nobody there. Has to scramble, which he does well, but not this time. Marcus Thomas, number 44, in the starting lineup with the tackle. Let's talk about Chris Rix. Enigmatic might be a good term.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, I mean, he makes great plays and he makes really bad mistakes. You know, there's not a lot of gray area with him. And the way that Bobby Bowden says it, you know, the good thing for us is he has more goods than he has bads. You know, he makes more good plays than he does bad plays.
No gain on the last play, so they'll go from the eye again. Dominic Robinson is up top of the screen. He replaces the injured Cafonso Thorpe. Double tight end set. They hand it off to Greg Jones. Power run. And he picks up 4 yards over the left guard spot. Runs into Bobby McCray. Now let's check the Earthlink starting lineup for Florida State. The offensive line. The All-American Alex Barron. Meinrod, Castillo, Meeks, and Willis. Cafonso Thorpe. Broken leg last game 2 weeks ago. Greg Jones and Coleman in the backfield. PK Sam. Robinson gets the start at the wideout. And Paul Irons is the tight end. Rix back with time. Deep. Double coverage. Way down there. Intended for PK Sam, incomplete.
Straight eye formation. It was only a 2-man route. So a lot of double coverage opportunities for the Florida defense. And a nice hold after the penalty by the Gator defense.
T1 Ratliff awaits it at the 12-yard line. Ratliff, who has 9 interceptions this year.
Another low kick.
Yes, it is. And he's nailed good downfield coverage at the 24-yard line. That's a 34-yard punt, 5 on the return. Gators have the ball on offense for the first time. We are at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Gainesville. First down for Chris Leak and the Florida Gators, and they have a first down at the 24-yard line. Florida loads up with 3 to the left side, 1 wide right. And it is a run blitz for the Seminoles. Theatric Faison caught and dropped and may have lost a half a yard. Let's check this offense now for the Gators of Florida. Offensive line, Starks and Snell, seniors, and the other 3 are sophomores, DeGore, Butler, and Randy Ham. Rand Carthen, a 5th-year senior, O.J. Small, Perez, Kelvin Kite, and Ben Troop. Well, they talk a lot about the youth of this team, but there are 15 seniors who start on both sides of the ball. This one flipped out to Andre Caldwell, number 5, and he is close to the first down. Now the FSU defense, very good front 7. Darnell Dockett making his 48th start today. Womble, Moore, and Emmanuel. The linebackers, Bulware, Augustin, and Kendall Pope. And in the secondary, Rufus Brown gets a start today. B.J. Ward, Jerome Carter, and Stanford Samuels complete that list. Rand Carthen is the running back now on 3rd and 1. He gets the handoff in a big hole, and he knocks down one of the safeties. B.J. Ward got jolted. Oh, boy.
So you say you want to play free safety. Watch number 24 get a little bit too high trying to make this tackle. Rand Carthen is zeroing in on him and puts that helmet right under the chin and runs through it.
9th play of the drive. Carthen gets the handoff, comes to the right side, has Max Starks, one of the senior tackles out in front of him. Big Max Starks, heavy-footed Max Starks with his size 19 shoe.
Take a look at what Chris Leak has done and where he's gone with the football in this 5-game win streak. 20 to the running backs, 14 to his tight end Ben Troop. You see 43 to the wide receiver, but a lot of those are screen passes, okay? At least half of those, or a third of them, have been screen passes, quick throws to those wide receivers.
3rd and 7. Small is the man in motion. Here comes the corner blitz. Leak reads it, goes for Kelvin Kite, too strong, out of bounds, incomplete. It'll be 4th down, and we're going to see Matt Leach, who hit a career-long field goal of 50 yards in that win at LSU back in October. Matt Leach, 6'1" junior from Sarasota, Florida, for the season. As you can see, 16 of 21. This will be from 47 yards away. Sean Morton, the senior, will hold it, and Casey Griffith, another senior, will snap it back. Good kick.
Nice.
Got it. 47 away. Opening thrust is successful for the Gators of Florida as Matt Leach knocks it true from 47, and the Gators take a 3-0 lead. 3-0 Florida with 6:05 to go in the opening quarter of play. These two teams began this series in 1958. Florida won the first game. The first FSU win was 16-7. That was in Tallahassee. Ray Graves said he would take the Florida team over to Tallahassee to play FSU, but only if they had 40,000 seats. So Florida State spent the summer adding 20 and doubling the capacity, and thus was a bitter rivalry enhanced. Georgia winning at Georgia Tech. Tennessee winning at Kentucky. Those games of import to Florida and their fans. Here's the Petrovich kick. Flag is down. Fumble. Loose ball.
They picked it up.
Lasco got it, but it might come back.
The only problem is where that flag is laying. It looks like Florida may have been offsides on the kickoff team. 2 huge penalties in the special teams right away for Ron Zook's squad. The first one gave him that first down on the 4th down punt play, and this one may cost him a touchdown.
Previous spot, re-kick.
Illegal procedure is the call. And now Willie Reed has taken one of the 2 spots deep to return it. It's Cromartie and Reed. Leon Washington is not. Is there. This will be Willie Reed at the 22-yard line. 3-0 now. 1st and 10, ball at the 22-yard line. Chris Rix backs in the eye. Lorenzo Booker is on for the first time, number 28 at tailback. He gets the handoff, comes to his left, and then back up the middle of the field to the 28-yard line.
We talked about both teams with 3 tailbacks and wanting to find ways to rotate them. Well, the way Florida State rotates is they go by series. So the first series, the senior Greg Jones was out there. The second series was Leon Washington's, and now it's Lorenzo Booker's time to come on and play. The 3rd offensive series for Florida State.
Gain of 7 for Booker, 2nd down and 3. Toss, sweep with James Coleman in front. He gets a terrific block on Johnny Lamar.
Boy, they really sealed the corner, too. Alex Barron, the All-American tackle, doing a great job on the edge there. Booker had a lot of green grass and white jerseys out there. Not many blue shirts on the corner.
That's a gain of 9 and a first down for the season. 286 yards, an outstanding average of 6.4. Booker, the freshman from Ventura, California. First down and 10. Booker again. Movement on that right side of the offensive line, pushing the pile to the north. And he's across the 40 and out to the 42-yard line.
You mentioned some of the problems that Florida has had stopping the run this year. 8th in the SEC coming into today, giving up 154 yards per game, and a couple teams really hurt them. And they lost to Ole Miss here back before the win streak started. Ole Miss ran the ball 36 times for 223 yards against Charlie Strong's defense.
Greg Jones in a tailback now on 2nd down. Play fake, Rix deep in the middle, got a man wide open. Caught, touchdown, FSU, Dominic Robinson, number 21. First touchdown catch of the season for the man who starts today in place of Carpazzo Thornton.
And you see the arm strength of Chris Rix as well. He had great protection, so he was able to stay in the pocket. It's only a two-man route. Kewan Ratliff took a peek back at the quarterback. Gus Scott late getting over to help as the safety. And a throw right to the back of the end zone by Chris Rix.
Extra point from Beitia is up and good.
And part of that is the Florida defense, frustrated that they weren't getting the calls, maybe lost their concentration, and Chris Rix made them pay for it.
1:46 to go in the opening quarter. 7-3 Florida State after the 35-yard touchdown pass. Chris Rix to Dominic Robinson. Andre Caldwell ready to return the kick of Xavier Beitia. Florida State, 8 plays, 78 yards. And here's Robinson getting some words of congratulation and some advice at the same time. And here is Caldwell at the 4. Andre Caldwell gets a couple of blocks, skips across the 25, and is down at the 28. Well, we've got 9 men up now, 2 deep. Now backing out. And they send only 4. Here's Leak going deep for his tight end. He's got Troop.
Now here's the amazing thing about this play. Ben Troop is going to beat most safeties and most linebackers. But Ben Troop didn't beat a safety or linebacker. He beat the best cover corner, Stanford Samuels. Number 10, Stanford Samuels, is going to be the guy that's trailing Ben Troop. That's the best cornerback on the Florida State team. They put him on Ben Troop thinking they might go there with the football, and he still got beat by the outstanding senior tight end.
31-yard gain on the 36th catch of the season for Ben Troop, a finalist for the John Mackey Award announced this week. And on the first down play, they give it off to Seatric Faison, who's back in the lineup. Ben Troop out of Augusta, Georgia.
It's just amazing. I mean, that's his 36th catch on the season. Before this year, coming into this season, only 25 catches in his whole career combined. And he's having a banner year and well deserving to be a finalist for the Mackey Award.
2nd down and 8 now as we near the end of the first quarter of play. Matter of fact, we've not only neared it, we've reached it. That's the end of one. 7-3. We'll return to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium after this message and a word from your local station. We began the second quarter. Vern Lundquist, Todd Blackledge, Jill Arrington. 7-3 and Chris Leak. And the Gators have a 2nd down and 8 at the FSU 38-yard line. Here's the pass left side. It is incomplete. 7-3 game. We talked at the outset, Todd, about the importance of the quarterbacks in this game. They've both proven effective so far.
Well, they've kept their poise, and it was a crazy first quarter. You know, turnovers that weren't turnovers, penalties, a lot of high energy, high emotion, but both quarterbacks kept their poise. Chris Rix only completed 1 pass, but it was a beauty, a 35-yard touchdown throw. And that for Chris Leak now 4 of 7. So he's kept his poise against this Florida State defense, has his team moving the football in scoring territory again.
3rd and 8. O.J. Small is in motion wide to the right. 3-man rush for FSU. Leak will dance out of there, but is nearly decapitated as he gets to the 30-yard line.
You see the final on Tennessee, so they've done their part to stay in the hunt.
Here's the field goal attempt from Leach. Wide left from 48 yards away. So Matt Leach is 1 of 2 now. And the ball goes over on down. Florida showing a blitz look. They are coming. That's Reed Fleming, and Greg Jones breaks a tackle.
Well, he dropped the ball, though. The ball was on the ground at the end of the play. They're ruling him down. But another loose football for Florida State.
Just across the 50.
Again, Greg Jones is the hammer back. I mean, he's the guy that's not going to make many people miss. He broke 1 tackle by Reed Fleming, ran right over Darrell Dixon. And at the end, that was a fumble again. I mean, they ruled him down, but I think that ball came out before he hit the ground.
And no reaction from the crowd. I'm not sure whether they. That's interesting.
Either that or Florida State fell on it. I didn't even see the end of it. Maybe they just recovered it.
2nd down and 2. FSU on top, virtue of a 35-yard pass. 3 wideouts in the field now. There's a handoff again. And this is Leon Washington skipping out to the right side.
Really a nice cut by Leon, because Channing Crowder was quickly across the line of scrimmage with penetration, but Leon was able to make a quick cut outside of Channing Crowder and pick up nice yardage.
End of that previous play. Let's see if it was a fumble.
Well, here's Greg Jones, and at the end of the play, again, they stripped the ball out. The ball came out, and who fell on it? Maybe Florida State fell on the football. Dominic Robinson, number 21, covered up the mistake of his buddy.
1st down and 10 at the 44, 7-3. 2nd quarter. Here's the toss. Washington has Coleman in front, cuts inside of his block. Look how elusive he is. Well, you wait each week, don't you, for this time? And it is time now for the
Aflac
trivia question of the afternoon. Why did Florida State and Florida not play each other until 1958? So many of these series between bitter rivals go back 80, 90, 100 years. This one 46 years ago. 1st down and 10. A lot of people in Florida are saying, oh, that's too easy. But I'll bet folks around the country don't know. 1st down and 10. I formation, toss, sweep, right side. And Washington inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Leon Washington, you saw the note that he had 134 yards in this game a year ago. He came on to replace Greg Jones, who went out with knee surgery only 4 days. And here's the toss.
Again, just a nice job by that front of Florida State, kind of controlling things up there. The big guys up there not allowing penetration by the Florida defense. And the problem for Florida right now is they are committing enough guys to outnumber Florida State in the running game, but they're not able to stop it. And that doesn't bode well for the Gators.
Ball carrier slipped. Washington is on. Kenny Parker, number 58, with a tackle. Crefonso Thorpe just 6 yards shy of 1,000 for the season. A Boletnikoff Award semifinalist, broken leg late in the ball game in the win against North Carolina
next to the last play. I mean, there was the running play on 1st down that gained 12 or 13 yards, and he got hurt. And they carted him off the field. In the next play, Leon Washington ran 12 yards for the touchdown. The game was over.
3rd and 11. Rix keeps it on the ground. Nice move, Washington. Short, however, of the 1st down. And we should see Bethia, the field goal kicker, on the field.
Well, Florida thinking pass all the way on 3rd and 11. Look how big those spaces are in between those linemen. A lot of big gaps in there. Just a normal running play out of the I formation, and Washington almost picks up the 1st down. But those linemen, the defensive linemen from Florida, with wide splits trying to get up the field in the pass rush, almost gave up the 1st down.
Right here is Xavier Bethia, 18 of 23, long for the season, 48. He had a 32-yarder blocked in that game against NC State. 4th and 1. This from 28 yards out. Cuts it inside the right upright, and that extends the FSU lead to 7 points. We play in Gainesville, 10-3, FSU. Back in Gainesville on the left side, that's a brand new press box complete with skyboxes. Opened this summer after 2 years of construction, and added some seats and not just a small amount of revenue to the coffers at the University of Florida.
Added some nice space to our digs, too. I mean,
did.
we've stepped up here now, I'm going to tell you.
Well, I miss broadcasting right next to Nat Moore for the Sunshine Network.
That's right, up in that blue box.
Xavier Bethia will kick off for Florida State. After the field goal, they lead 10-3. And here is Andre Caldwell moving up and grabbing it just short of the 10. Now he comes left. Can he get around the corner with a stiff arm? Yes, but there's pursuit that takes him down, and a flag goes down with him.
Yeah. It was still a good return by Caldwell, turning the corner and getting it out past the 30, and they might get 15 more tacked on at the end of the play now. Well, take a look at this play, 10-3. Casey Anderson is going to be the guy that's going to get called for the penalty for a late hit, but he's actually blocked in the back into the pile. And they called a personal foul on Florida State. I'm not so sure that should have been a personal foul on the kid from Florida State.
On first down from the 49, Leak finds Kelvin Kite out to the right side. And he is at the 40-yard line. Well, final score, Georgia 34-17. And so the standings now, there's a three-way tie. Georgia wins its 10th game. Tennessee wins its 10th game. Florida 8-3. They're going after their 6th straight win. It's going to be up to the BCS difference.
And right now, the only way that Georgia does not go to Atlanta to face LSU for a second time is if somehow Florida would be able to move past Tennessee in the BCS rankings and be within 5 of Georgia. And if that were the case, then they would win the head-to-head with the Georgia Bulldogs because they beat them in Jacksonville.
Here's Perez, left side. Now the three teams coming in, the BCS rank 7, 8, and 11. So they would have to jump over Tennessee, and then the comparison would be head-to-head competition between the two teams with the highest ranking.
You know, so many other games affect the BCS. The Miami-Pittsburgh game tonight has a lot of effect because if Pittsburgh would beat Miami, that would hurt Tennessee's quality win part of that formula.
Here's Deshaun Wynn on the carry on third down. Travis Johnson makes the tackle. It's going to be 4th, and they're going to bring Matt Leach on 4th and 1. And some rumblings in the crowd on this one. Matt Leach is 1 of 2. He connected from 47. He missed from 48. And this will be from 47 again.
And keep an eye on 24 B.J. Ward again. He'll be right in the middle of the screen. And so Matt Leach is going to look right up at him as he kicks this football.
Here's the snap, the hold, the kick is on the way, and this one looks perfect.
Yep.
Oh, got the good bounce. Ha. The junior gets a break on senior day. And that'll bring a smile. CBS Sports coverage of the Home Depot SEC on CBS continues after this word from your local station. Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, Florida State and Florida. It really heated up when Bobby Bowden came to FSU in '76. His first win against Florida was a 37-9 victory. A lot of folks go back to that 1991 game as among the most memorable. That was a Florida victory of 14-9. Here's Petrovich to kick off. Willie Reed and Leon Washington are the deep guys. There's Washington.
Well, the first kickoff of the game, they went right after Petrovich. The last two, they've kind of let him run down the field.
And they're going to let him go this time.
But he's not running as fast as he did before.
Washington brings it out from 3 deep.
Look out.
Look out again. Foot race. Leon Washington caught and out of bounds inside the 25. Chad Jackson, the wide receiver, caught up with him. 77-yard kickoff return.
Boy, you know, you wonder, was he smart to bring it out? 3 yards deep in the end zone, but excellent vision, and then the speed and the acceleration. Dallas Baker takes a bad angle, the wide receiver, but another freshman receiver, maybe the fastest of these young receivers, Chad Jackson, with a huge play to stop the touchdown.
Leon Washington from nearby Jacksonville, his previous longest kickoff return this year, a rather modest 21 yards. First down and 10. FSU leads by 4. And off right side, Booker tries to turn the corner. Channing Crowder bumps him out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
Boy, you saw the speed of Channing Crowder there. And remember, this is a guy that had knee surgery the first week of October, middle of the season. And he is running sideline to sideline and forcing a very fast Lorenzo Booker out of bounds for a very short gain. Man, that is great speed by a middle linebacker.
Crowder, who is from Atlanta, committed to Georgia, then changed his mind. 90,407. That is a new attendance record at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium.
And look at this. This is a one receiver set. 2 tight ends, 2 backs. A power football set, and they're going to go play action.
And they've got a man wide open. It's Henshaw, the tight end. Touchdown. First of the season for Matt Henshaw.
Excellent job of play calling by Jeff Bowden. Bobby's son has been under fire a little bit as the offensive coordinator, but this was perfect. A perfect call. Bring in a run formation. Here's Henshaw, the second string tight end, and he's going to just beat his man. They try to hold him up on the line of scrimmage. That's Ferrier, the linebacker that he beats. Excellent call, well executed by Chris Rix.
Bethia on for the extra point. Up and good. Well, an effective first half for the Florida State Seminoles. They fell behind 3-0. But got a 35-yard strike from Chris Rix to Dominic Robinson and have, for the most part, had things very much in command since that time. Let's go down to Jill, who is with Ronzo.
Right behind you.
Well, Coach, it's been a very emotional and physical first half. You've gotten a lot of penalties. What will you do in the second half to gain the momentum?
We just got to settle down and play. I mean, we've given them points, and, you know, we knew it was going to be that kind of game. Anytime you got a game like this, things like that happen. We got to settle down and play. We're fine. We're in good shape. This team not going to panic. We haven't panicked before. We won't panic today.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Jill, thank you. 17-6 at the half. And we're going to spend the halftime back in New York with Tim Brando. Let's go back to Tim right now. We begin the third quarter at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Gainesville as the home team Florida Gators had a 3-0 lead, but things have not gone well for them since. Kewan Ratliff, the All-American cornerback, trying to get the crowd inspired as well as his teammates. One of 22 seniors introduced before the game, one of 15 senior starters for this Florida team. Xavier Bethia will kick off for Florida State. And Kelvin Kite is one of the deep men for the Gators. 17-6. Vern Lundquist, Todd Blackledge, Jill Arrington. The Home Depot SEC on CBS. Andre Caldwell also back. And this will be Caldwell at the 6. And Rashay Caldwell's baby brother gets it out only to the 12-yard line. Well, Florida has the ball now, Todd, as they begin the third quarter. They need to do something with it.
Yeah, they really do. They've got to get some momentum offensively because their defense is having a tough time stopping the run. Florida State dominated in the running game in that first half. I've got bad news and good news for Florida. The bad news is Florida State's defense has only given up 64 points in the second half all season. The good news is 37 of those points came in their last 2 games to Clemson and North Carolina State. So they do have a little hope going against this Seminole defense. But a lot of problems in that first half moving the football.
Here's Leak in trouble. Throws up an air ball. That could be intercepted.
Oh, he's lucky.
And it should have been. Jerome Carter had both of his hands wrapped around it.
And again, this is the same problem that Chris has had in this ball game. Late decision making. You cannot hold the ball against this defense. They're too fast and they get to you too quickly. And he is very lucky that his first decision to start the second half wasn't a dreadful one. I mean, it was a bad decision, but he got away with it. 2nd
down and 10. He'll go from the spread. Mike DeGore, the center, snaps it back. 3 men lined up wide to the right. He comes near side, and Kelvin Kite avoids a tackle and flies down the sideline.
And see, that's the way he's got to throw the football. Get that snap, put your foot in the ground, and throw the football. You can't hold it. You can't float around against this defense. Kelvin Kite had 6 catches for 132 yards against Florida State last year when Rex Grossman was the quarterback. Man-to-man coverage. He breaks the tackle of Stanford Samuels and adds about 15 more yards with the run.
That's a gain of 23, and the ball is spotted at the 42-yard line. Third reception for Kelvin Kite, the senior from Lithonia, Georgia. Handoff, Ciatric Faison. And a moment ago, Jill Arrington had a chance to chat with FSU coach Bobby Bowden.
Coach Bowden, it's been an emotional game, but your team's come up with some really big plays. What did you tell them about continuing that edge in this half?
Well, this is one of those games where if your defense plays excellent, you've got points on there, you know. And we just try to keep doing what we're doing. And the big thing you got to be careful of now is a turnover. It could really hurt you.
All right, Coach, well, thank you.
2nd and 7, flip out.
Pass.
Yes, it is. And they come back to Chris Leak. He's got 3 blockers in front. Here's the 18-year-old quarterback going to his left, nailed at the 26.
What a nice call by Ed Zonbrecker. Earlier in the game, they threw a screen pass out of that 4-man wide receiver set. They have not shown this set since then. All right, there's 4 wide receivers. Now he's going to get the ball, and last time he just ran with the screen. This time he's going to catch it behind the line of scrimmage. Watch, it's a backward pass, so it's a lateral. He's looking downfield first, but he's double covered, so he comes back to Chris Leak, and he has 3 blockers in front. That is perfect execution on the trick play by the Florida Gators.
That's a gain of 30 and a first down at the 25-yard line. Fake the draw, Leak back to throw. He's got Ben Troop, who has to adjust, and does. Had to go from his right to his left, made the grab in Florida with a quick strike to open the 3rd quarter.
And exactly the same way that Florida State scored their touchdown. Tight end working against the linebacker in man coverage, and they go right to it off the play action. Watch the fake to the tailback. The safety's not able to help Michael Boulware, the linebacker, and Ben Troop, you called it. What a great adjustment to the football for the touchdown.
And Ben Troop, they're going to go for 2.
Yeah, they're going for 2, but they don't look like they all know what Ben Troop wasn't sure what they were doing.
Now here's Zonbrecker with the call. You see Leak look back, and they adjust, and Faison goes to the left.
See, they still have time. There's 12 seconds on the play clock because they didn't huddle. So they have time to make the change.
And they run it.
Nice.
And they get it.
That was a designed quarterback run. They faked it to the running back Faison. And Chris Leak got the football across the plane. What a way to start. After almost throwing a deadly interception, Chris Leak gets him in the end zone to start the 3rd quarter.
The try for 2 is good. The touchdown pass to Ben Troop. I know Kellen Winslow is a very gifted tight end. This young man's not far behind. 13:25 to go, 3rd quarter. A 3-point game, 17-14. And Matt Petrovich will kick off for the Gators of Florida.
Well, they got to take all that enthusiasm that they have right now and cover this kick better than they did the last kickoff. An intentional pooch kickoff.
Out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Well, the first 3 plays of the 2nd half, pretty intriguing.
Well, Chris Leak almost really got burnt there with a late throw. He was hit as he threw. The ball fluttered. They come back with a razzle-dazzle trick play. Caldwell with the throwback to the quarterback. He's got an escort out there, a huge play that gets him into Florida State territory, and then the play-action pass to his favorite target, Ben Troop, for the payoff. And then he got the 2-point conversion himself.
Chris Leak spent the bye week going back to Charlotte, where they retired his jersey, the same jersey worn by his brother, CJ, who's a backup quarterback at Tennessee. 6 years of Leaks at quarterback for Independence High School. Here's the handoff to Greg Jones, right side to the 30-yard line. Johnny Lamar with the tackle, number 31. Let's break it down statistically at halftime.
Well, the most glaring thing is right there, the rushing yards. 102 for Florida State in that first half, only 25 for Florida. And of those 102 yards, all 3 of the tailbacks each had 7 carries. So, I mean, you talk about rotating your tailbacks and tailback by committee. It doesn't get more even than that.
Rix back, under pressure, screen pass, left side. Jones is stopped. 4th down. Here it comes.
Now, it may not be as loud as it's been because a lot of the fans have mittens on their hands. So the clapping's not as loud because it's cold here and they got their hands covered up. They're yelling though.
4th and 3. Jesse Stein on to kick it away to Kewan Ratliff. Ratliff averaging 11.5 yards per return. This one very high, and Ratliff calls for the fair catch. Grabs it at the 34-yard line.
Good field position for Florida, though, to start.
1st down and 15. 17-14. Florida State leads. The handoff. Carthen tries to get out of trouble and doesn't do so. He gets back to the line of scrimmage at the 50.
You know, there were some concerns about this Florida State defense because of the last 2 games. They really got burnt by Clemson and North Carolina State. They gave up 424 yards to Clemson, 514 yards to Phillip Rivers and North Carolina State. But after the week off, they have played much more solid defense in this game today against Chris Leak in Florida.
Option play. The pitch back to Carthen. Turns the corner. Has Latsko in front.
Nice call.
Surges inside the 35. 1st down.
Nice call. They fooled Florida State's defense. They had not shown an option yet. The first option of the game. And this is not an option where the quarterback really wants to keep the football. It's pitch it right away. Come down the line. Get it to the guy who can run. He's got a back out in front of him. And they fooled the Florida State defense. Good blocking by the wide receivers out on the perimeter. Got him the 1st down.
That's the longest run of the day for Florida. It's 14 yards. Carlos Perez was out there providing blocking help as well. Now the cutback as Ryan Carthen starts right. Gets inside the 30. Well, for more on this whole concept of recruiting in Florida, let's go down to Jill.
Well, Vern, this Florida State rivalry is a big game in the land of recruiting in the state of Florida. Many recruits, they're here today. They're watching, and they're going to decide their college future based on this game. Even Kewan Ratliff, he's from Ohio. He grew up hearing about that Ohio State-Michigan rivalry, but he said when he came on his official visit to this Florida State game, he knew how intense it was, and this was the school for him. So you know those guys over there are watching this one closely.
Stanford Samuels, the best corner, coming on a blitz right here.
Left side, and because of the blitz, Leak had to get rid of it a little before he wanted to.
And that was a well-disguised blitz. See, Florida State is not a heavy blitz team. And Stanford Samuels is right here. It looks like he's going to play man-to-man on Ben Troop, and then he's going to blitz instead. So it looked like he was going to cover Ben Troop. He came on the blitz. Nobody picked him up, and Chris Leak not able to make the throw. So a timely blitz for Mickey Andrews' defense.
That will bring on Matt Leach for the 4th time. He is 2 for 2. This one from 2 for 3. This one from 42 yards away. Morton with the hold. Leach got it. We are tied. Well, you said once they had the ball, they needed to do something with it. They've done that twice.
Scored both times. They found a little room to run. And Chris Leak has played with poise and got his team tied with the Seminoles here in the 3rd quarter.
Welcome back to Florida State, Florida. They have been playing since 1958. The most exciting series of games in the 90s. 93, 94, 96, and 97. That 96 one was the late hit game. The Gators won a rematch in the Sugar Bowl. These two teams have met twice in the Sugar Bowl, and they are tied in that venue at 1 apiece. Leach, 3 of 4 with the field goals today. Here's Petrovic, and this is a very, very short kick taken by Willie Reed at the near side, out of a tackle, and another long run on the kickoff.
That might be 15 more yards. They didn't call it. Probably could have on the tackle out of bounds, but you know, you're trying to kick away from Leon Washington, so you're trying different things to do. You kick it to the other guy, and he burns you. Bad kick coverage, poor discipline by the Gators covering that kickoff, and excellent field position to start for the Seminoles. They have really had their problems covering kickoffs here today.
A 77-yarder in the first half to set up a touchdown. This one from 46. And Florida State has the ball. They were 3 and out on their only possession of this quarter. They've got it at the 43. The handoff left side. Washington cuts back inside and is down at the 37. Well, there is a 3-way tie in the SEC East. And among the teams tied with Florida and Tennessee, Georgia. And on the phone with us right now, Mark Richt, head coach at the University of Georgia. Mark, first of all, congratulations on your win today. And how easy do you sit tonight watching this game?
Well, I'm not actually watching it. I can't wait to watch it. But right now, I'm in the middle of Atlanta traffic on the way to my coach's show. But we're very thankful to get the victory and get this 3-way tie. And hopefully it'll be enough to get us in the game next week.
Aren't your expectations that you will be? Here's the handoff. It comes left. And Leon Washington out of bounds inside the 20. Mark, I would assume that you are proceeding on the assumption that you will get the nod.
Well, we're going to be working hard, looking at LSU tape. And until they tell us something different, we'll be preparing for the game.
How significant is a rematch?
Well, a rematch is great, especially if you lost, and especially if the second time around it can erase what happened the first time around as far as the SEC race is concerned. And we're just very thankful to have the possibility of this opportunity. And to go 10-2 was really special considering all the things that we had to overcome all year long.
Mark, stay with us for one more play. Here's Rix in the end zone, and it is overthrown. Ratliff actually made the grab for the interception, but was out of the end zone.
Mark, this is Todd. You talked about going 10-2 and how special that is with this group. Can you ever remember in all your years as an assistant with Bobby Bowden at Florida State, but could you ever remember a year where you had a team that had to overcome as much adversity from the beginning of this season with suspensions and injuries as this Georgia team did this year?
No, it's been incredible. I think there's been some years where we might have had some guys get hurt in certain positions and you're wondering what you're going to do. But we got hit at every position across the board, and somehow, we found a way to win, and I'm just proud of the coaches and the players and everybody involved in this program.
Mark, congratulations to you. We'll let you try and get out of the traffic and probably see you next week. Okay, Mark.
Bye-bye.
Here's a big second down play and the loss back in the back. Georgia victors today at Georgia Tech. Bobby Bowden pacing the sideline a little more slowly than he did a couple of years ago. Well, here's the way it finally concluded in the SEC East. Georgia, Tennessee, and Florida tri-champions 6-2, and the representative in the SEC East will be determined by the BCS ranking.
Right.
To be announced tomorrow night.
And again, that Miami-Pittsburgh game tonight has a lot of bearing on both Tennessee and Florida's situation.
Loss of 3, 3rd and 13, tie game, blitz coming. Didn't time it quite right, but Rix is in trouble. He is elusive.
He dropped the ball.
Yes, he did. And here goes Kewan Ratliff. The senior from Columbus, Ohio, strides in for the score.
Gus Scott made the play, a tremendous play by the senior safety.
Bobby Bowden told Jill Arrington, we've got to avoid the turnover. It's the senior Gus Scott from Jacksonville, the senior Kewan Ratliff from Columbus, Ohio.
Gus Scott led this team. That's his 5th forced fumble on the season, and Kewan Ratliff scores another defensive touchdown, the 6th of the year for the Florida Gators.
Here's the old swinging gate play. How about this? It's 1958 all over.
Boy, oh boy.
I saw this about the time these two teams played their first game together. B.J. Ward is up. The kick is through. Ron Zook's team came out in the 3rd quarter, and they have dominated. They've also grabbed the lead. It's 24-17.
And now it's up to Chris Rix to get his poise back and try to stop the bleeding for Florida State. They've been outscored 18-0 here in the third quarter. They've gained 7 yards on offense.
And Petrovich will kick it off. Again, this one returnable, taken by Leon Washington. He had a 77-yard return in the first half. This time spilled as he gets to the 23-yard line. First down and 10 after the 13-yard gain. Here's the toss right. Booker and Darrell Dixon, number 34, made the tackle. Dixon, who missed all of last year after shoulder surgery and hurting a little bit. No, he's not. I thought he was favoring the shoulder. He was pulling up his socks.
He's had an outstanding year. I mean, this is a guy who, Darrell Dixon, who has led the team in tackles, but also has been a great leader. Not a very vocal guy, but very much looked at as a leader. In fact, when he was out last year as a redshirt, the team insisted that he travel to every game because of his presence.
Second down and 8. 5.5 to go, third quarter. Rix with a handoff on the draw play. Good defensive job by Reed Fleming, number 40, middle linebacker. And Matt Ferrier was also there to help complete it.
That was a run blitz. They brought extra men up there and blitzed the line of scrimmage, anticipating the run. And they stopped him to a very minimal gain and brings up a third down in an 8 situation now for Chris Rix.
Florida State is 1 of 6 on third down conversions. See the comparison as FSU has stayed on the ground for most of the game. Bobby Bowden looks on his son Jeff with the play call. 3rd and 8. And the play clock at 1. Rix dances right. Goes forward. Did not get it.
That's
just
close.
Short.
It's awful close. He made a great effort at the end of the run, stretching the football. But they just moved it back behind that 45-yard line. This is what Chris Rix did last year. He ran for 83 yards and many times kept drives alive with his legs. A good tackle by Johnny Lamar, number 31, stopped him just short of the first down.
Santa Margarita, California, 4th and 1, and apparently they will punt. Jesse Stein comes on for the 3rd time. And it's not going to be Kewan Ratliff. Vernell Brown is back to return the punt. This one backs.
Oh, what are you?
Oh, my goodness.
He got away with it.
Yes, he did, but it was ill-advised, to speak euphemistically.
Yeah, I'm not sure he knew where the goal line was, but he was too close to it to catch that football.
For the Naval Academy. Handoff left side. Here's Faison, breaks out, and is talked at the just short of the 20. You know, we've all got 1,000 reasons to be thankful during Thanksgiving holidays, and one of them that which we all share is the thanks to our servicemen and women who serve around the world. We're going to single one out and say hello to him because we've been asked to by those who love him the most. Lieutenant Ward Irvin. He's a part of the 10th Mountain Division class of Florida, 1999. He was a member of the swim team. He is serving with the Rangers somewhere in Afghanistan and is watching this game on Armed Forces Network. Lieutenant Ward Irvin. Oh, goodness. Out to the 23. Fumble. Pat Watkins has it. And the play will stand. That is a touchdown.
Yes. Faison looking around saying, isn't anybody going to say that I was down? And all the officials have abandoned him.
That's the sophomore from Tallahassee, the free safety, Pat Watkins, number 22.
A lot of Florida State fans wondering, why did you punt on 4th and 1? Well, we've had a great defense all year. Let's count on them again. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Darnell Dockett with the tackle, but if anyone was down before the ball came out, it sure looked like Faison was down there. We've seen a handful of plays like that in this football game. That one looked fairly obvious.
Bethia with the kick just inside the right upright. I can't wait to see another angle on this one.
Well, credit Florida State for not giving up on the play. But watch his face and is tackled by Darnell Dockett. He's down.
That's at least 3 times tonight we've seen fumbles negated or allowed. Now, the fumble is worth another look.
Well, the ground cannot cause the fumble. Now, Darnell Dockett's right here. He's going to be the guy that's going to make the play, number 45. Gets off his block. It looked like from there that Faison was down before the ball popped out into the hands of Watkins. Take a look again. Faison down. Hard to tell. But you're right. We've had 3 or 4 of those that have looked like that today.
I'm not so sure it's hard to tell. Oh, there. That's a look that gives it a little.
That one.
Yeah.
There it is. That one did come out.
Yes.
He was being hit on his way down to the ground, and the ball did come out. So credit this ACC officiating crew with getting that one. That was a good call.
And a replay that seemed to confirm the rightness of it. Here's the kickoff again, short by Beitia. And Andre Caldwell out near the 30-yard line. That's the end of the third with a score 24-all. We'll return to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium right after this message and a word from your local station. 2nd down and 3. Play fake, leak, pumps, screen pass, left side. Seatric Faison gets a little block from an offensive lineman, and he is inside the 35-yard line.
You know, I gotta give some props here. My guy Matt Sign, my spotter, just slipped a note in front of me and said we haven't seen a screen for a while. Well, that's 2 screens in a row now. One to a wide receiver, one to a running back, and both of them very well executed by the Gators. Faison sets it up, gets those linemen down in front, and Florida in striking distance right now.
Max Starks injured, and he is on the bench. Faison sits for the moment, 1st down and 10. There's a shovel pass underneath inside the 20. Ran Carthen. How about Ed Zonbrecker?
He's doing a nice job. And the reason this play is so good against a team like Florida State is because of how wide their defensive ends play and how quickly they get up the field. Those guys want to get up the field and rush the passer, and that invites a play like the shovel pass underneath it. Nice mixture. Run, pass, screens, trick plays.
1st down and 10. Here's another option. Pitch back left side. It's Carthen, the senior. Out of bounds at the 11. Let's take another look at this Utah pass, the shovel pass.
Here's the end, and he wants to get upfield and rush the passer. So when you have ends that get up the field like that, you get them up the field, you invite them there, and then you shovel pass or run a draw of some sort underneath of them. And just the masterful play calling on this possession by Ed Zonbrecker. They have really put this Florida State defense on their heels, coming out from their own 6-yard line.
Here's Leak back. Goes right. Throws it deep in the end zone and throws it away.
Good decision. You can't hold the ball long against them. If it's not there, get rid of it. Don't take a sack.
And that will bring up 3rd down. 24-24. 17-6 Florida State at halftime. Here's Ed Zonbrecker. I swear, after they lost at home to Ole Miss, people were just filling up the internet calling him an idiot.
Yeah.
You know, he couldn't coach anything. This is the guy who coached Chad Pennington, and now all of a sudden he's a genius.
I just think he's done a great job of bringing Chris Leak along bit by bit through this season, giving him more and more of the offense.
Leak. Oh, wow! For all the good he has done, there's one he will never forget.
Yeah, he had him. His favorite target, Ben Troop, right in the middle. He's going to run the post, and he's open. Nice move to get around the middle linebacker, Austin, and just cannot make the catch. The ball was thrown perfectly by Chris Leak, not only in the right spot, but at the right time. He threw it on time before the break and thought he could have had a touchdown.
That brings on Matt Leach to break the tie, to attempt to break the tie from 29 yards away. Casey Griffith will snap it. Matt Leach holds it. or kicks it, and it is up and good. But oh, what might have been the biggest play toward the end of the drive was the incompletion off the hands of Ben Fruit. 8 minutes and 1 second remaining in this one. Let's talk about the recent era between these two teams. 1997, Steve Spurrier rotated his quarterbacks, and Florida won by 3. And Spurrier's last game against Florida State here 2 years ago, Florida won that one. 27-24, they lead, they being Florida, 8:01 to go. Leon Washington played his high school football hour and a half away in Jacksonville. Matt Petrovich will kick it off. He booms this one. Unreturnable. It'll come out to the 20. Drills it, and it's caught by Robinson up at the 33-yard line. Kewan Ratliff with the tackle, a 13-yard gain.
You know, we already had our Home Depot coach's decision in the game, but I like the Home Depot, so I'll give them another pop here. I think one of the best decisions we've seen today was Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator, that last series, calling timeout. When they were really getting flustered against this Florida offense, they called timeout and got regrouped and held Florida out of the end zone and settled for a field goal. That was a big timeout.
Florida brings 6. Rix across the middle. He's got PK Sam.
Very nice.
Yes, it was. And that's a 1st and 10 Florida State after a 20-yard gain.
You know, Chris Rix can flat out throw the football. Now, in a lot of ways, he reminds me of Dan Marino when he throws out of the pocket, because watch how quickly the ball comes out of his hand. It's a very short, compact, quick delivery with a short stride with his left foot. I mean, when he sets up and throws it, he can flat out throw the ball. 2 nice throws in a row, and the Seminoles across the 50-yard line.
Play action again. Rix down the middle, man wide open. At the 10, at the 2-yard line, it's the tight end, Donnie Carter. Only his 5th catch of the season.
Well, it was cover 2, which means the 2 safeties are going to split the field, and that opens up the middle for the tight end to come right into that area. They go play action, the safeties split, the linebackers get fooled and come up on the play fake, and the middle of the field is wide open for the tight end. What a series for Chris Rix throwing the football.
Those are season numbers for Donnie Carter. Under 7 to go. 1st and goal. Washington driven back. Fumble.
Yeah, he fumbled it. He sure did. Florida thinks they have it. I thought Washington fell right on the ball.
Second down.
That's what the officials are going to say. Channing Crowder needs out.
And here come flags.
Yeah. Well, it was a dumb penalty by Channing Crowder. He came out of the pile with the ball, and then he spiked the football.
The fumble was recovered by the fumbler, making it 2nd down. We have a dead ball, unsportsmanlike penalty against the defense. All positions of a goal, 2nd down.
Channing Crowder's a true freshman, and he has to keep his poise. Washington did fumble the football, tried to reach it over the goal line, but he fell on top of it. Crowder caused the fumble. Now, the ruling is that Washington recovered it, but Crowder came out of the pile with the ball. And when they said it wasn't his ball, he took it out on the football.
1st and goal. Quarterback keeper, no. Let's take another look at the Washington carry on the previous play.
He tried to stretch the ball to the goal line. Channing Crowder knocked it out with his left hand. Now, when he comes down the ground, that's Washington's left knee that's on the football, and as he's reaching for it, Crowder's reaching for it. And Crowder came out of the pile with the ball, but the officials called it down. Biggest play of the ball game right now for the Gator defense.
3rd and goal, just inside the 1. Handoff. Don't believe he got it. Bobby McCray goes over. 4th down.
Now what do you do?
Yeah.
If you're Bobby Bowden? I think you go for it. There's 5.5 minutes left. If you don't make it, you've got Florida inside their 1-yard line. Reed Fleming with the stop. Washington not able to get the ball across. Johnny Lamar there to help. And right now Chris Rix is saying, let me run it. I'll sneak it in for a touchdown.
You got Greg Jones, who weighs 255 pounds. He's not in there.
I don't get that.
Now he is.
4th and goal he is. Yeah.
Okay.
Bring in the battering ram.
4th and goal. Quarterback sneak.
He got it
Touchdown.
over. Yep, he got the ball over. That was a nice jump by Chris Rix. He hesitated just enough so that he could get a good leap and stick the ball over the goal line. Watch Chris Rix. Little step back, pause, and then stretch that ball over the plane of the goal line and then protect it. What a series by Chris Rix. Throwing the football. Nice play calling by Jeff Bowden. We talked about Ed Zonbrecker.
Extra point. Bethia up. Good. He asked for it. He was given the opportunity. He almost scored before he left his feet. FSU leads. Well, boos rain down from the 90,000 here. Maybe a 5th of whom are Florida State fans. They're not booing. They're cheering. 80-yard drive in 8 plays. It took 3 minutes. Rix got the touchdown. And Bethia will kick off.
That was a fine series by Chris Rix and fine play calling by Jeff Bowden to get the lead for Florida State.
Here is a very high, very short kick, almost dropped and picked up, and it is returned out near the 40-yard line. Skylar Thornton, number 25 on the special teams.
A little surprised by that strategy by Bobby Bowden with the short, high kickoff. You give Chris Leak the football at the 40-yard line. I mean, they need a touchdown to take the lead here. A field goal only brings them within 1. So good field position to start for Chris Leak.
Play fake on 1st down, the pump, and then deep. He goes for Carlos Perez and overthrows him by 3 or 4 yards. 2nd down and 10. Well, Florida needs this to affect the BCS standings to have any chance of getting to the SEC championship game.
Well, not only that, I mean, the other thing that Florida's playing for is they're playing for bowl positioning, because even if they don't get to Atlanta, a win over Florida State, who is going to the BCS, will enhance what bowl they might go to in January.
2nd down and 10. Leak steps up, he'll run. Gets a block from O.J. Small. He's got a 1st down at the 46-yard line.
See, he didn't do that in the 1st half. He's learned. His in-game adjustment right now has been, this defense is too fast for me to hesitate. So if it's not there, I've got to make the decision and go right now. And when he did it, he got the 1st down. He's certainly athletic enough to make that play, but when you hesitate against a fast defense, you're not going to make the play.
1st down and 10, a 13-yard gain. Handoff. Carthen starts right. Bolts out of the tackle inside the 40 to the 38, where B.J. Ward applies the brakes.
And again, a reminder that Florida only with 1 timeout. Now, Florida State only has 1 timeout at this point as well.
Second down and 1. 31-27, Seminoles lead. Carthen breaks the tackle, picks up the 1st down.
What a second effort by the senior Rand Carthen, because that looked like it was going to be a loss of 2 or 3 yards. Kevin Emanuel, the defensive end, was up the field, and this was going to be a loss of yardage play. And Rand Carthen just instinctively spun inside and got the 1st down.
1st and 10, 3:46 to go. This is Carthen again, the senior. Picks up 3, tackled by Alan Augustin, the middle linebacker.
Another mass substitution by Mickey Andrews, bringing in some fresh legs. A three-man defensive front now.
Quick snap, screen pass out to the left side. Good job of blocking. And O.J. Small cuts inside the 25 to the 24-yard line.
And a good use of the snap count by Chris Leak. He saw that they were substituting people, trying to get new guys into the defense. Go with the quick count. Maybe surprise them and get guys out of position.
3rd and 2. Again, Chris Leak looks over at Ed Zonbrecker, the offensive coordinator. His demeanor never seems to change.
It never does. Every now and then you see him jump up and down if he makes a play or if he misses a throw.
3rd and 2. Leak caught behind the line. Look at him struggle. I don't think he got enough, but he's close for the first down.
Nice play by Claudius Osai. A backup safety was in there as part of the dime defensive package, and he was not fooled. They tried to fake and get Chris Leak to the corner, and Osai was there to make the play.
31-27. Leak.
They're changing the play. They're setting it up. 4th and 2.
FSU showing the blitz. They're coming. Leak comes out to the left. He'll run for it. He's got it. Out of bounds at the 25.
What a heads-up play by Chris Leak. He saw the blitz. I don't think this was a designed quarterback run, but he saw the blitz coming from the outside, and he thought he could get to the corner. He gets out there. That was a called pass play. That was not a called quarterback run, but a quick recognition and a quick decision by Chris Leak to get the first down.
Leak has 2 receivers wide right. Fakes the handoff, goes deep in the middle for Troop. He's there. Touchdown!
What a throw!
Now he can forget that drop pass in the end zone.
Oh, man!
He beat Jerome Carter. It's the freshman to the senior. Boy, he just did get that foot down.
And you're right, foot. He only needed 1 in. Doesn't need 2 of them in.
4 catches, 121 yards. Sean Morton controls the snap, which was a little high. And Ben Troop from Augusta.
Ben Troop going to run right down the middle, run past the safety, and what a perfect throw to the back line of the end zone. Ben Troop just needs 1 foot in, no bobble on the catch, 1 foot in, touchdown. What a play for the Gators. What a throw by an 18-year-old.
You know, we've done a few games this year. Most of them have been pretty good. Well, hasn't quieted down since we went away. And Ben Troop, the senior from Augusta, and Kewan Ratliff, the senior from Columbus, with reason to celebrate for the moment. But we've got 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in this one. Leon Washington back. Matt Petrovich will tee it up.
And again, Florida has been burned by some kickoff problems today. They got to focus on the task at hand, which is being disciplined on their kickoff lanes and cover this kickoff.
Here's Petrovich, booms it. Washington will bring it out from 3 yards into the end zone. He is a speedster, but there's good coverage at the 28-yard line.
Now, I want to look at something on this touchdown. The guy to keep an eye on is the safety, Jerome Carter. Now, for some unexplainable reason, he's going to take a couple steps up. There's no play-action fake in the back, or a little fake. That little play-action fake made the safety step up, and then Ben Troop was able to run behind him to get to the end zone. And watch the end of the play. 1 foot in, the official right there to make the call. Wow.
There's the foot. First and 10, Florida State trailing by 3.
Plenty of time for Chris Rix. They only need a field goal to tie the game, and they've got one timeout in their pocket.
Handoff, right side, Booker, ankle tackle, Darrell Dixon, number 34.
2 weeks ago, in Florida State's last game, they went into overtime against North Carolina State, 2 overtimes, and won the game on a Leon Washington touchdown run in the second overtime. So, overtime not unfamiliar for Chris Rix and the Florida State offense.
Second down and 6. It's Booker and Coleman in the backfield. 3 wides. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. 4 down for Florida. Football. Rix gets it, but he's tackled at the 24.
Boy, that's a costly mistake. Chris Rix was looking at the defense, and he lost his concentration on the snap. I don't think it was a bad snap. It wasn't, but his eyes were downfield instead of on the football. And for that one moment, he lost concentration. And now it's 3rd and 14 for the Seminoles.
Corners back off. They're going to give him a little room. Rix goes deep. He's got a man open. Oh, he overthrows him. PK Sam was there.
He sure did have him. Cover 2 again, which means the 2 safeties are splitting the middle of the field. PK Sam has his man beat, but it's just slightly overthrown by Chris Rix. Gus Scott was in coverage on PK Sam, and he was beat, but a slight overthrow.
4th and 14.
Remember when Ron Zook was telling us about the 4th down play when they stopped him?
1991, it was a 14-9 victory. Then it was 4th and 7. Now it's 4th and 14. Left side, man open, Robinson, first down at the 48.
What a clutch throw by Chris Rix. 4th and 14, are you kidding me? It's a deep in route. He's got to get the first down. He's got to take it maybe a little deeper than he normally would. And Chris Rix sticks it right in there. How about Dominic Robinson stepping up in the absence of Profonzo Thorpe?
1:07 to go. They need a field goal to tie and send it into overtime. Rix forced right, pulls up, goes deep for PK Sam, adjusts, caught it, touchdown!
Gus Scott was beat on the 3rd down play, but Chris Rix overthrew it. Gus Scott was beat on this play, and Chris Rix didn't overthrow him. He got totally turned around and didn't know where the football was, and PK Sam made the catch.
Now this becomes important. Bethia got it.
But credit Chris Rix for buying a little extra time by scrambling out of the pocket. Watch Chris Rix elude the rush. Ray Willis gets beat by Darrell Lee. He gets outside, sets his feet again, and finds PK Sam for the touchdown. Gus Scott got turned all around and couldn't find the ball.
5 plays, 72 yards, the last 52 to PK Sam. We invite you to jump on the seesaw and ride with us, back and forth, up and down. PK Sam, 52 yards from Chris Rix.
Boy, oh boy. What a football game.
Yes, it is. 55 seconds to go. And again, that Bethia extra point means Florida's got to have a touchdown. Andre Caldwell heading right. down the sidelines and out of bounds at the 31. Let's take another look at the go-ahead touchdown.
Well, this is Gus Scott, and here's PK Sam's going to run to the post. Now, when the safety split, Scott is responsible for picking up the guy in the middle, and he's in pretty good shape. I mean, he gets on his hip, but you know, the timing, because Chris Rix scrambled, that meant he had to cover him longer than he was accustomed to, and he just got turned around at the end of the play. But the scramble out of the pocket made this play take longer than it normally would have, and Gus Scott got beat.
One timeout remaining. The ball on the 31-yard line. 38-34, Florida State. Right side, and the defender slipped, and the ball is incomplete, intended for Kelvin Kite. That was Rufus Brown, number 7.
Florida still has one timeout. You want to save that for the absolute time that you need it the most. You need a touchdown. Field goal does you no good with 42 seconds left. Clock stops if you make a first down.
Leak will scramble.
This takes a lot of time.
Yes, it does.
Takes a lot of time to run and then to uncover the pile, and they're going to have to use their timeout.
32 seconds to go. FSU leads it by 4. Time for a quick prayer. 3rd down. Here's Leak. Left side. That'll stop the clock for the first down. Andre Caldwell gets it. And Florida will re-huddle quickly now. The clock stops in college ball as they reset the chain. Leak has his men set.
Good news for Florida. They're used to going without a huddle. I mean, that's kind of the way they play the whole game. They just have to speed it up now.
Leak has to run, gets out of bounds.
Good coverage downfield. I mean, Florida State knows a field goal can't hurt them, so they can play a lot of zone, try to get pressure with 3 or 4, and just try to keep all the Florida pass routes in front of them. Don't get beat over the back top, over their heads.
17 seconds remaining. At the 50. Florida State overcame a 4th and 14 and then struck on 1st and 10 from 52 yards away. Here's Leak. Goes deep, nobody down there. That one is out of bounds and incomplete. It'll be 3rd down with 9 seconds to go.
Well, you just can't say enough about Chris Rix. I mean, 4th quarter for Chris Rix. 6 of 7, 135 yards, and some clutch throws.
Chris Rix had that really terrible game in the loss at Clemson. Did not play well in the first half against North Carolina State. Bobby Bowden said he had to talk his staff out of talking him into benching him for Fabian Walker. And they said, no, let's stick with Chris in the second half. And they went on to win against NC State in double overtime. 3rd and 7. Leak wings it deep, incomplete, out of bounds. And with 1 second left, the ultimate Big Ben is coming up.
And it looked like they were kind of trying to do that on this play. I thought they might try to get another decent chunk of yardage and then be able to throw one to the end zone. Be tough to get the ball to the end zone from where they are right now. You know, I want to bring something else up that Jeff Bowden did in this game, the offensive coordinator, that was very smart. A couple years ago, when they were getting ready to play Oklahoma in the championship game, they lost Snoop Minnis for academics, and they moved Javon Walker from split end to flanker, and it didn't work out. He didn't make any changes today.
Here's the final play of the game. Leak being pressured, pulls up. He's going to have to run, and this becomes the ultimate improvisation. He's got to score. The game is over because he does not. Chris Rix, an improbable comeback. And Bobby Bowden wins number 342. The Florida State Seminoles back to a 10-win season. And they will be bound for a BCS bowl game. Ron Zook, Bobby Bowden. And And there's a fight that breaks out in the middle of the field.
Well, the fight broke out because Florida State, some of their players were jumping up and down on the Florida F in the middle of the field.
Any question that the hostility between these two is real is eradicated.
Channing Crowder better put his helmet back on.
And the battle continues with a lot of punches being thrown. The smart ones keep their helmets.
And I don't know why, but Rob Wilson, the sports information guy, is right down there in the middle of it. Jeez. And he has no helmet.
And there goes a Gator head. And let's go down to Jill Arrington, who's with Bobby Bowden.
Well, Coach, congratulations, your first 10-win season in 3 years. But does this win validate that this Florida State program is back with the elites?
It looks like it, you know, because this is what we used to do. That was probably the most exciting game we've had with Florida in years. I don't know how we came back and won it.
Well, Coach, emotions are high. This fight here on the field, does that kind of spoil what you've just done?
Yeah, I wish we hadn't done that. I don't know why it started. But these kids are pretty intense against each other. I'm sorry it happened.
Well, Coach, this is a big win. Enjoy it. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you very much. Tell your dad Rick I said hello.
All right. Back to you, Vern.
All right. Thank you, Jill. Florida State wins it. For Jill Arrington, Dodd Blackledge, I'm Vern Lundquist saying good night from Gainesville.